Good evening and salutations, my Days of Alive fans. So let's talk about Jake, Johnny, and Gabby. So Gabby and Johnny are pretty much, kissing and everything like that. There's a point where Jake, is calling to try to get a hold of Gabby and leaves a message. Gabby stopped for a little bit. It's like, yo, I can't do this. And then, of course, she finds him irresistible. I don't know if it's because it's Johnny or because, he's Diablo. Whatever it is, she is feeling just this urge to do things. Um, more or less, Johnny Diablo's like, yo, listen, um, you want me, I want you. And just kind of really gets more into her nature of, she's always the person that goes after what she wants. She uses, well, you know what? As much as sometimes I don't like Gabby, I'm not gonna disrespect her in that way. But let's just sit there and say she uses her full potential, um, or is getting what she wants. Long story short, they start kissing again. Jake comes into the room, and he is pissed. He's pissed off, and he's about to sit there and going on Johnny. No. So first, he tells Gabby that, it wasn't really me, it was the devil, this, that, and the third. And of course, at this point, Gabby doesn't necessarily believe him. But then Johnny's like, yeah, it's true. I possessed, my Aunt Bella, almost tried to kill my grandmother, choke the life out of me, and this, that, and the third. So now at this point, of course, Johnny starts, making little comments or whatever, like, hey, listen, I'll be around if you want me, if you need me, or whatever. And he leaves. Jake is furious. He's just like, are you kidding me? Gabby, Gabby feels bad. Okay, Gabby feels bad. She feels like a fool. Um, but the thing is, when Jake, it's funny too. Now that I'm sitting to think about it, when Jake walked into the room, it was like we haven't even been broken up that long, and you're already like with somebody else. Like it hasn't even been like 5 days or whatever, and you're already with somebody else. Now, the reason why I found that comment so funny, but not really funny, more like ironic, is because when you thought that Kate broke up with you, it wasn't even like a day before you ran right back to Gabby. Before you ran right back to Gabby. Like, hey, I want to be with you, and she dumped me, this, that, and the third. You couldn't wait to make a beeline to Gabby. But now you want to sit there and start crying and whining. Oh, it's been 5 days and you're already with somebody. Shut the like. Are you? So, but at this point, you know, Jake is like, listen, this isn't even the problem because Gabby's like, can you find a way to forgive me and for us to be us again? And Jake is like, listen, even if I could somehow get past this, it was so easy for you to just lose trust in me, is what he said. It was so easy. Now, when Gabby was like, well, you sound like you, and this, that, and the third, and you look like you, Jake was like, why didn't you confront me? Why didn't you look me in the eyes and sit there and confront me and at least give me the chance to sit there and tell you why I'm so called betraying you? And she stood there and she looked dumbfounded like, I should have did that. Oh my goodness. But Gabby's the type of person, when she gets mad, she wants to get even. And she doesn't think before she acts, which is why, you know, all that took place. So, Jake he just walks off and Gabby just stands there, looking sad and dumbfounded pretty much. Um, Now Ben and Ciara run across Chanel and Ali kissing. I'm gonna be honest. I stood there and looked at those two, and I was like, you know what? To be honest, both y'all make me sick. I mean, Allie more than Chanel, surprisingly. But just not just seeing her kiss on Chanel, it's like, damn, it hasn't even been like a week and a half that, Trip broke off the engagement with you. And you already just like making out with her like Trip who? That's the type of energy that I get every time I see them like hugging and looking at each other and all this other stuff like that. It's like, damn, girl, it's been like a week and a half, and already you're like, so to be honest, and it sucks because, like I said before, and it's just a theory. Will and Sunny aren't really there like full time, and they need somebody to represent the LGBT community. Because I do always sit there and believe that representation is important. But this is one of those things where it's like they fast track them to be together, to get together. Um, and in the process of doing that, they wind up ruining Allie's character, which, to be honest, I never really liked from the get go. But I mean, damn, you weren't even drunk, and you were just like, you kissed on her more than once. And the first time, cool, y'all weren't together. The second time, y'all were together, and you did that, and he still forgave you. And then the third time, she was just like, bro, it just happened. We got caught in the moment. And it's like, are you kidding me? Now the engagement has been broken off for like damn near almost nearly 2 weeks, and she's already being lovey dovey with Chanel like nothing happened. So every time I see them together, like being all lovey, it's just like, ugh, I. Mm. So anyway, long story short, um, and I'm not even going to sit there and try to explain myself. I think at this point, the people who watch my channel already know where I'm coming from. Because like I said, I am about representation, but I am not about poor character development. Um, anyway, long story short, Ben and Sierra come to them because they want them to bake a cake, to do a gender reveal party. You know, the envelope was still left there, and they can't trust themselves not to constantly be tempted to sit there and look at the envelope. And seeing how the devil already knows, I don't really know why that matters. But anyway, they don't want to be tempted any longer. So they're like, you know what? Let's just do a party, and do the gender reveal then. So they're excited, and it actually seems like a cool idea. And they get started on it, and they get into one of Chanel and I get into one of their little cutesy moments, and then Johnny comes over, and Johnny says a couple of words as far as because Chanel was talking about dropping a lawsuit, and this way they can get out of the movie. So Johnny comes over, is like, oh, y'all look so cute together, whatever. And of course, you got both of them just giving the I think I already dumped on those characters long enough. They just give a stare that you already know what they're saying. They exchange some words. Johnny Avila looks at the envelope that's already sealed because he already knows what the sex of the baby is. Um, I don't really understand why that was actually so important. I mean, I feel like whatever the devil's plans is with the baby, it really doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. Um, he looks at the envelope and then he walks off, and that pretty much ends that scene. Um, so EJ remembers that Clyde was responsible for him getting shot. I mean, yeah, Clyde didn't, pull a trigger, but, he had a henchman that did it. So at this point, Clyde's like, yeah, I did it. And this is exactly what I'm Snitch is saying. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? You're gonna fight him? You're gonna get more time? You're gonna sit there and tell the parole board? Because that's what you said he was gonna do. And Clyde was like, "Listen, if I'm in here with you, I'm gonna be in a bad mood, and it's not gonna go well." And I'm just sitting there looking at this whole thing. I'm like, bro, even if you try to fight him, let's say you beat him in this fight, Clyde has, he's been in there long enough. He's made connections. Okay, you are literally outnumbered. Um, you barely held your own against Xander. But you want to sit there and take on somebody who's been in prison a long time and a bunch of people? Good luck with that. So all the anger and everything like that, and he talks about how he lost time and he lost the love of his life and this, that, and the third, and he's like, you're responsible and you're responsible for everything. And I'm like, and what are you gonna do about it? And that's exactly why I like Clyde's response. Clyde was like, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, I apologize, and I don't do that too often. And sadly, he sounded like he genuinely did mean it. And he's also like, bro, you're alive, so like, no harm, no foul. We good? Long story short, Clyde does actually get out. So I guess at this point it was like, well, EJ, what was he gonna do? I mean, seriously. I guess the smart play is to let him get out, let him get a taste of freedom, and then you can sit there and have him do your bidding. You know, hey, listen, if you don't do this, that, and third, I'll tell you to go back to jail. I think that's probably the smarter play. Now, Bella feels guilty. She finds out that even though it's not true, that she's the one that um made a pass at Abby by morphing into EJ because that's one of the devil's many powers, and got Chad to change his testimony. So she feels bad. She goes to the prison. She apologizes to EJ, and she's like, "Hey, listen, you can sit there and file a motion saying that I was possessed, this, that, and the third." But EJ's like, "Yeah, I've been a long enough lawyer to know that's not going to work." But Bella's like, "I'm going to do the appeal process, and all's well ends well." Now, the last scene is pretty much Kate and Chad. So Kate is like, "We're gonna blame the devil," as in we're gonna blame Bella, and yeah. So he's like, "We're gonna blame the devil. We're gonna sit there and put the evidence of the whole money laundering thing or whatever EJ got charged for. We're gonna put it on Bella. We're gonna sit there and say that Bella was the mastermind behind all of it." So Chad goes to the house to talk to Bella. Sees Sean, they talk for a little bit, and Kate, distracts Sean by, getting him to go to the police station to get the police report about Philip. So he's gone, and Chad plants the evidence. Now, Chad, I'm gonna be honest, Chad is not happy about that. He's not. Um, I'm sitting there looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, you do realize you're just gonna send her to jail, right? You know? I mean, what does Chad sit there and think that's gonna wind up happening? She's gonna get framed for it, and then she's gonna sit there and say, "Well, the devil made me do it," and then she's just gonna get out. And Kate does sit there and say, "Listen, you got three options. You're not turning yourself, which you don't want to do. You're not going to turn in Lucas, and clearly you don't want EJ behind bars. So this is literally the best of a bad situation." Sad thing is that um, Bella probably will want to go into jail. Of course, she'd probably sit there maybe plead insanity. I don't know how it's going to work. But anyway, they do wind up planning the evidence. And, one of the things that one of the things that Bella says to EJ is that, he's going to have a new roommate because Clyde is out. I don't know how he knew that Clyde was actually, I don't know how she knew that Clyde was actually out of jail and not going to be his roommate anymore. I don't really get that, but okay. Yeah, I feel like that's about it. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. I feel like I got the majority, most important stuff um, in this video. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.